On her 22nd birthday, Evelyn Sterling sat alone in the hushed elegance of a glittering upscale restaurant, a modest vanilla cake placed before her like a quiet offering. A single pink candle flickered softly, casting a warm glow across the sleek curves of her wheelchair. Around her, other guests stole brief glances before averting their eyes, their curiosity laced with discomfort. It had been 6 months since the car crash that shattered her dreams of ballet, and in that time she had learned to craft a polite smile for the world, a mask to shield the ache within. The restaurant pulsed with the refined rhythm of luxury, crystal glasses clinking in subtle toasts, silver forks gliding against fine porcelain, and murmurs of conversation blending like aged wine. Vast windows from floor to ceiling framed the city rain, turning every droplet into a shimmering jewel under the golden light of grand chandeliers. Evelyn had been guided to a corner table, praised by the hostess for its perfect view, though it truly served to keep her apart from the prying eyes of the main dining area. She focused on her breathing, as her physical therapist had taught her: inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4. Exhale for 4 to tame both the sharp nerve pain and the wave of unease that rose when strangers' gazes lingered on her chair before slipping away. The small vanilla cake looked almost comically understated, as if the bakery had underestimated how much joy someone in her position might crave. The lone pink candle stood tall in its center, its flame dancing gently in the controlled air. Half a year earlier, she would have been deep in rehearsals for the spring showcase, her body a masterpiece of precision, every muscle obeying her command with effortless grace. Now those memories arrived in shattered pieces, the heat of the spotlight on her skin during her last practice, the abrupt silence as the music stopped, the sterile scent of hospital tape and rigid braces. She had been driving home from a photo session for the Sterling Foundation when the paparazzi tracked her down. The rain that night was a light mist, nothing more, but when a photographer's vehicle veered dangerously close, pushing her toward the divider on slick roads, everything changed in an instant. Through the window now, she watched a man and a young girl dash through the downpour, the child's bright yellow raincoat a splash of sunshine against the dreary evening. They paused beneath the restaurant's awning, the man kneeling to adjust her hood with tender, deliberate care. As they stepped inside, water still beading on their coats, Evelyn assumed they would join the families in the central area. But after a quiet word with the hostess and a firm, gentle persistence from the man, they made their way toward her secluded spot. The girl was no older than 6, her dark hair tumbling from uneven pigtails that spoke of loving but hurried hands. She clutched a folded sheet of construction paper, alive with vibrant crayon strokes. The man, around 36 or 37, carried himself with the calm awareness of someone used to tight spaces. His work jacket displayed the Sterling Properties emblem, identifying him as one of the many who kept her father's vast real estate empire running smoothly. "Excuse me," he said softly, his voice low to avoid drawing attention from nearby tables. "I'm Carter Flynn, and this is my daughter, Audrey. We noticed you were celebrating by yourself, and Audrey created something special for you." He nodded toward the card in her tiny hands. "Would it be okay if we sat with you for a little while?" The invitation caught her so off guard, so far from the pitying stares or awkward avoidance she had come to expect, that Evelyn nodded before doubt could creep in. Carter did not rush to claim a seat. Instead, he paused, following her gaze to ensure she had a clear path to the exit if needed. He selected chairs that gave her ample space to move, pulling one out for Audrey across from her, and taking a spot slightly to the side for himself. Audrey carefully laid the card beside the cake, her small fingers erasing any wrinkles with care. It depicted 3 stick figures linked by hands beneath a colorful rainbow, with "Happy Birthday" scrawled in bold purple crayon at the top. "I did not know your name," Audrey whispered shyly, "so I just made you look pretty." "It's Evelyn," she replied, her voice emerging rougher than anticipated after months of speaking mostly to doctors and therapists. "And this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much." Carter reached into his pocket and drew out a simple lighter. "May I?" he asked, motioning to the unlit candle. With her permission, he ignited it swiftly and surely. "Audrey and I have a special idea about birthday candles," he said, leaning back with a warm smile. "Would you like to hear it?" The girl shifted excitedly in her chair, eager to explain. "If more than one person blows it out, the wish becomes extra strong," she declared with the unwavering confidence of childhood. "Like pushing someone higher on the swings, the more pushes, the farther you fly." The innocent logic wrapped around Evelyn's heart like a gentle embrace, easing a tension she had not fully acknowledged. "That sounds perfectly right," she said, her words heartfelt. "Shall we try it out?" They counted to 3 in unison, and the collective breath from 3 pairs of lungs snuffed the flame in a single, joyful whoosh. Wisps of smoke rose lazily, carrying with them Evelyn's first true smile in what felt like forever. Carter produced a modest pocket knife, a practical tool, likely a constant companion in his jacket, and presented it handle first. "The birthday girl gets the honor of the first slice," he said kindly. As she cut into the cake, Evelyn noticed how Carter kept his hands resting openly on the table, ready to assist only if invited. It was a subtle gesture, yet after enduring endless assumptions about her limitations, it felt profoundly respectful, a quiet affirmation of her independence. She portioned out slices first to Audrey, then Carter, and finally herself. The cake was simple vanilla, nothing extravagant, but Audrey dove with pure delight, smearing frosting across her nose on the very first bite. "You work for Sterling Properties?" Evelyn asked, seizing the chance for ordinary talk, free from discussions of treatments or recovery milestones. "Maintenance supervisor for the downtown buildings," Carter confirmed, dabbing a crumb with his napkin. "Mostly night shifts. The properties and I have a deal they stay quiet during the day, and I make sure everything runs perfectly after hours." "Daddy fixes everything," Audrey chimed in, her mouth full of cake. "Even the scared elevators." "Scared elevators," Evelyn echoed, her curiosity genuinely sparked, a spark of lightness she had missed. "They make scary sounds sometimes," Audrey explained with grave seriousness. "But Daddy speaks kindly to them and fixes their feelings with oil." Carter's face softened as he gazed at his daughter. "That's one way of describing it. Though I actually oil the bearings, not the emotions." Their talk flowed naturally from their Carter's late-night adventures with the buildings, Audrey's colorful kindergarten creations, and Evelyn's tentative admission that she was still discovering her path forward. When her phone vibrated with her father's familiar tone, she silenced it without answering. Audrey, spotting the ignored screen, leaned in conspiratorially. "I ignore calls to sometimes," she whispered, "especially during cake time." The rain outside grew heavier, streaking the windows like cascading rivers of light. The other patrons had withdrawn into their own bubbles, transforming the corner into a cozy haven. When a server cleared their plates and accidentally bumped Evelyn's wheelchair, causing a wheel to wobble, she braced for the flood of apologies and fuss. But Carter spoke calmly to the server, "No damage done." Then, turning to Evelyn, he added, "If you would like, I can tighten that bolt, it's probably just loose. I spot those things the way others catch mistakes in writing." "You do not have to," she started. "I know," he replied simply, "but I have the perfect tool in my truck if you want me to. Completely up to you." The gift of choice, of being consulted rather than directed, brought a lump to her throat. "That would be wonderful, if it is no trouble." Carter stepped out to fetch his tools, leaving Evelyn and Audrey alone. The girl retrieved a little notepad from her raincoat and began sketching with a worn restaurant pencil. "Do you enjoy being in a wheelchair?" she asked with the bold honesty only children possess. "Not really," Evelyn admitted truthfully. "I was a dancer before." Audrey pondered this deeply. My teacher showed us wheelchair dancing in videos. They spin so fast, she added wheels to a figure in her drawing. You could be a spinning dancer now. Carter returned before Evelyn could reply, toolkit in hand. He knelt beside the chair. May I? He asked, his hands poised but respectful. With her nod, he worked efficiently, tightening bolts with expert precision. The main one was loose from all the folding and unfolding. It should feel solid now. He wiped his hands and helped Audrey pack up. As they rose to go, she tore out her new drawing, 3-wheeled figures twirling under a starry sky, and pressed it into Evelyn's hands. Same time next week, Carter asked casually, yet with genuine hope. There is a coffee shop on 5th with real ramps, not the steep ones. Saturday mornings have great pastries, and Audrey has art class close by. Evelyn agreed without hesitation, and they swapped numbers, Carter entering his with the same thoughtful care he had shown the wheelchair. That night, William Sterling paced his study, tension coiling like a spring. Paparazzi images were already spreading, his daughter sharing a table with a maintenance worker and his child. Headlines brewed, Eris seeks solace in simpler company. The business impact was minor, but the image, as his board loved to stress, was everything. When Evelyn returned home with the driver's help, she found her father in the conservatory, where her old practice bar had once stood removed after the accident in a misguided attempt to spare her pain, though its absence wounded deeper. We must discuss your public outings, William stated firmly, his executive tone unbreakable. The man you dined with has a name, Evelyn cut in, startling them both with her resolve. Carter Flynn. He oversees maintenance for your properties, which makes this all the more unsuitable. The press will exploit the class divide. Your visibility reflects on the company now more than ever. The word visibility lingered, a veiled reference to the chair, the lost career, the daughter who no longer aligned with his polished vision. For 6 months, Evelyn had yielded to his protective oversight, drained by pain and recovery. But the evening's kindness being asked, not commanded, Audrey's effortless acceptance had ignited something unbreakable within her. What I need, she said measuredly, is to be seen as a person, not a risk to manage. Carter and Audrey did that. They saw someone alone with cake and chose compassion, without agendas or stock concerns. William's expression shifted through anger to confusion. The world is not compassionate, Evelyn. The media will distort this, and the board will doubt my leadership if I cannot control even my family's narrative. Then perhaps the issue is not my narrative, she replied, guiding her chair toward the elevator, but that you prioritize controlling me over understanding me. The words struck like a revelation. William watched her ascend, his reflection in the dark windows revealing a titan of industry lost in connecting with his own child. He reached for his phone to summon damage control, then stopped, glancing at the light in her room and the independent shadow moving within. Midweek, Carter texted, Audrey asks if you prefer chocolate or vanilla for Saturday. No wrong choice, but she is firmly team chocolate. Evelyn smiled at the screen, replying, tell her I am open to joining team chocolate. Saturday dawned grey but rain-free. The 5th Street coffee shop lived up to its promise, spacious paths, a gentle ramp, tables designed for easy access. Audrey scattered her art supplies in joyful disarray. We are studying colour emotions, she proclaimed, unveiling a battered watercolour kit. Red is mad, blue is sad, yellow is happy. But I disagree, red can be cozy like hugs, blue peaceful like daddy fixing things. Carter arrived with a tray, extra whipped hot chocolate for Audrey, black coffee for himself, and a mocha for Evelyn, recalled from a casual mention. Audrey has been upending art rules all week, he said with a chuckle. Her teacher is intrigued, maybe worried. Conversation unfolded effortlessly, bypassing awkward introductions. Carter described the building's nocturnal quirks, the thick in Tower 3 humming melodies, the freight elevator in Tower 1 needing gentle persuasion past midnight. Evelyn opened up about phantom dance sensations haunting her nights, her body feeling foreign, the dread of being defined solely by loss. "I understand that feeling," Carter said softly as Audrey painted a purple sun. "Not identically, but after Audrey's mother left, I wandered in a life that felt borrowed. It took time to accept this version as authentic, just altered." "What happened?" Evelyn asked, then withdrew. "I am sorry you do not have to share." "It is fine." Straightforward, really. She realized motherhood was not for her 6 months in, left a note, returned to Seattle. Sends cards sporadically. Audrey barely recalls her, which is a blessing. Audrey glanced up, purple on her nose. "Are we sad talking?" "Daddy says sad is okay, but we share turns so someone can brew hot cocoa." "We are sharing beautifully," Carter reassured. "You handle the yellows." "Yellow is supreme," Audrey nodded, adding a whimsical yellow wail. "Evelyn, join my picture." "I would love to," she said sincerely, as Audrey painted with intense focus. Carter's phone alerted with work issues, his face tightened. "Building audit next week, new security measures, checking logs, patterns. Someone upstairs is on edge." Evelyn knew it was her father's doing, his safeguards amplified by recent scrutiny. "I am sorry." "That feels intrusive." "Job hazard," he shrugged, though strain showed. "Odd timing, though lingering temp badges unlogged visitors. I have reported them, but now they notice." Audrey demanded admiration for her vibrant, rule-breaking cosmos. They lingered until her class, Carter escorting them to the center. Evelyn watched Audrey proudly display her work. "She is incredible," she told Carter outside. "My grounding force," he said. "Keeps me tethered amid work and worries." "How is physical therapy?" he asked thoughtfully, questions informed yet non-intrusive. Audrey returned with paint-streaked hair and a new piece, three-wheeled friends under a rainbow. "For your room, to remember our friendship." That evening, William awaited with his assistant Andrea and security data. "Not an accusation," he said, forestalling protest. Reports revealed months of expired badges traced to a PR contractor, Corbin Wells accessing private floors, Evelyn's records, even her schedule the night of the crash, emailed to a photo agency. The accident was enabled deliberately for shots, William seethed. Not caused but orchestrated. Carter noted these patterns in reports, Evelyn realized. "His documentation led us here," Andrea confirmed. "Meticulous, proper channels despite oversight. Navy background honorable, systems expert. William had vetted him, clean record, devoted father, no red flags." The audit exposed Corbin's scheme leaking for drama, then profiting on crisis management. He was ousted, prosecuted. William held a press conference as a father, announcing privacy overhauls, the Sterling Access Initiative for true accessibility beyond codes. Evelyn watched with Carter and Audrey, their Saturdays now rituals, coffee stretching to meals, Audrey's art claiming space in her home, Carter mending what needed it unspoken. "He is doing this for you," Carter noted. "And because it is right," Evelyn said. "His apology in action. Daddy's fix instead of saying sorry," Audrey added. "Like building me a backyard stage after missing my play." "Did you forgive him?" "Always family," she said wisely. "Sometimes they earn it." The initiative transformed properties swiftly, expert assessments, redesigns, meaningful training by those who lived it. Carter rose to oversee accessibility, his eye for detail invaluable. Evelyn consulted, her dancer's spatial intuition blending with experience. Their work intertwined with personal warmth, unspoken yet growing. One day, pain overwhelmed her on site. Carter found her in the restroom, gripping rails. He sat outside, sharing mundane tales, elevator mechanics, pipe symphonies, his calm voice anchoring her until spasms eased. William saw via security, recognizing the steady support he had failed to give. He visited unannounced. I owe apologies many. I feared loss so much I ceased seeing you. You fixed in your way, she said. Carter teaches another presence over control. The press will speculate. Let them. I live for me now. At the final conference, Evelyn spoke beside him. I am not tragedy or triumph. Just human. Accessibility is dignity, same doors, ease, normalcy. A year later, her next birthday returned to the restaurant by choice. Audrey, 7 and gap-toothed, gifted a glitter-wheeled ballet card. Carter brought chocolate vanilla cake, William an orchid. It grows, endures like us, Audrey declared. They wished together, Evelyn silent, for tomorrows as vivid as this. Audrey teased Carter's secret wish, redirecting to her tree role in the play. Rain fell softly as they departed under shared umbrellas, William to his car, Carter ensuring clear paths. Same time next year. Tomorrow, Evelyn smiled. For souls in lamplight, rain a gentle veil bound by chosen bonds. Audrey's song of rainbow wheels and cake echoed. Evelyn joined, her heart full, humming their melody of enduring, unexpected love.